Hey everybody, thought I would do a follow-up on the cider that I pressed a couple of months ago. This is the most of it, about 12 or 13 gallons of cider that's fermenting into hard cider. There's about 1 other gallon that I just drank sweet. But there's a 5 gallon, and a 3-gallon carboy that I'm fermenting each one differently. The small 3-gallon one, I didn't do anything to it. I just added some yeast nutrient, and that was it. I just let it ferment naturally with the yeast present on the skins of the apple. No extra sugar, no nothing. The other 2 5-gallon carboys, I treated the cider with Campden tablets to kill the natural yeast, and then after waiting about 2 days to let the sulfur dioxide off gas, I mixed in, 3.5 cups of brown sugar per carboy, an appropriate amount of yeast nutrient, and 2 different yeasts. In that carboy, I put in Cote de Blanc wine yeast, and in the middle carboy, I put in Lalvin EC1118 wine yeast or champagne yeast or whatever it was. And I let them ferment for about a month. The EC1118 was the fastest fermenter. It started bubbling the day after I pitched the yeast. The other stuff took about a week to get going, and the natural yeast took the longest. It probably took 2 weeks, 3 weeks for it to really start bubbling. It really took a while for that natural yeast to take off. I did boil the sugar in some cider, partially to dissolve it and also partially to sterilize it, so I didn't get any contamination in there. And of course everything was sterilized with Star San, and I have Star San mixed with water in the airlocks. And a week or 2 ago I decided to bottle it, but I taste tested it, and we decided that the taste wasn't exciting enough to bottle it. I didn't really want to drink 13 gallons of boring cider. So even though it does get better with age, we decided to do a secondary fermentation on these 2 carboys. And with this naturally fermented cider, it was definitely the most boring out of the 3, so we decided to make an infusion with vodka using apples, cinnamon sticks, and cloves, and we're going to mix that in there and see how that tastes. But for the other 2, for the rightmost carboy, I racked onto 2 cups brown sugar, a package of cranberries, and a chopped up orange. And on the middle carboy that's fermented with the EC1118, I racked it onto also 2 cups of brown sugar to give the yeast something to eat, and about 2 or 3 cut up apples and a package of raisins, unsulfured raisins. All those things I boiled. I put in a pot covered with just enough water to cover it. I don't want to put too much water in there. Boiled it to sterilize the apples and everything, and poured them in first, funneled them into the carboys, and racked on top of that. And I didn't stir it or anything, I just let it sit. And as you can see, it's bubbling away. It's only been sitting for a week or so, but you can kind of see the bubbles made by the Star San. Oh, there's one, there's another one. EC1118 seems to ferment pretty well. The other stuff takes a little longer to get going. But that is what's going on with the cider. As you say, I just have them all covered up with shirts to prevent sunlight from hitting them. And I do have the heat turned up on in this room to about 68 or so, because it's getting to be winter and it's cooling down in this room. That's about it. So these are probably going to sit, these 2 anyway, are going to sit in secondary fermentation for maybe 2 months or so until they really stop bubbling and they're all done. And this little 3-gallon guy, it's pretty much done fermenting, hasn't bubbled for a while. So next time that we have some couple free moments, we'll rack it into a bottling bucket and mix in some of that vodka infusion and give it a taste test and bottle it and let it sit. Maybe it'll be good enough to drink for the holidays, hopefully. And these other two, they'll probably be drinkable next year. I don't know if I'll be able to wait that long. So anyway, that's that. Keep y'all posted. That's what's going on with my cider so far. Thanks for watching.